this video we're going to take a look at a really cool little knife from the folks at Schrade that could come in really handy in a lot of situations, but especially if you like mountain biking. That's the SCHF60. Coming up on Survival on Purpose. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose. My name is Brian. Thanks for joining me. So the folks at Schrade were kind enough to send me one of their SCHF60s, little neck knife or belt knife, which is pretty cool. And I actually requested this. I went through their catalog and was looking at some cool stuff. I thought it'd be different, something different to show and to kind of take a look at. And this one's caught my eye, and I was intrigued by it, and I've had a chance to play with it briefly and kind of check it out. And I think it's really cool knife. So let's take a quick look at the specs on it, and then we'll get to doing some of that knife stuff. Okay, once again, this is the Schrade SCHF60 neck knife or belt knife. This knife features a 2.32-inch drop point blade of AUS-8 high carbon stainless steel. For those of you still stuck in the metric system, that's 5.89 centimeters, with a 3.21-inch or 8.15 centimeter handle portion of the same AUS-8 high carbon steel. Basically, this knife is one piece of steel with an overall length of 5.47 inches or 13.89 centimeters. And it weighs just 1 ounce or about 28 grams. The knife features both thumb and index jimping, a metric and standard ruler, some standard wrench size slots on it, an oxygen wrench slot, size 14 and 15 bicycle spoke wrenches, and a bottle opener. It comes with a nylon fiber neck or belt sheath with a breakaway neck chain, a removable and reversible pocket clip, or grommet holes and slots. The Amazon price on this knife at the time of this video is about $18.31. Okay, so that's some of the specs and details about this pretty cool little knife from the folks at Schrade. And I gotta say, I'm a plumber, so one of the things that really attracted me to this knife was the fact that it's got an O2 wrench. And basically that just opens up an oxygen bottle, which is pretty cool to have if you're in any kind of a emergency situation, or maybe if you're trying to, in any kind of an urban survival type situation. That could come in handy, as could the wrenches. And as you saw, I tried out, the 1/2-inch wrench works pretty good. That's kind of, I think the bike was actually metric, so that's probably a 13 centimeter nut, but either way, for SAE sizes, these things are pretty well designed there. The spoke wrenches work if you're a mountain biker, or if you need to work on some spokes, and the bottle opener, there's no doubt that works. The one thing I did like is the fact that this sheath can be either as a belt clip. It can be, you can put your clip on for right side up carry or upside down carry, if that helps you, because you've got extra little holes here. You can take it off, and Schrade actually supplies you with some extra screws and a little wrench, which I think is a great little nice touch, along with just a ball chain, kind of little chain to wear it as a neck knife if you choose to do so. And you can put it, and then you've got different straps and lanyard holes and different lashing points here on the sheath. So a lot of different ways you can carry this little knife. If you're a bike rider, I think it could come in really handy in a lot of different ways. One of them just having a knife, right? For example, here where I live, west of Atlanta, they actually converted an old railway right-of-way into a trail system called the Silver Comet Trail. And primarily a lot of people use it for biking, and it's like 50, 60 miles, so you can really put some miles on a bike. But some of the places are very, very secluded, and if something happened, it's always good to have a knife. At a minimum, a knife. And so this one could be a pretty decent little choice for you. It's big enough to be useful. And it's got this little spot back here, so you could probably use it for knife stuff. It's got all these other little added tools which could come in handy too. But and it's very, very lightweight. It's not going to slow you down a bit. So I think it's a pretty cool little deal, and the price is not too bad either, as you heard. So without a bunch of further rambling, let me take you down the old stump top. We'll start doing some knife stuff, and I want to talk real quickly about high carbon stainless steel. So first of all, let's talk about the high carbon stainless steel thing. That people have asked me about that, and is that just a marketing gimmick, or what does that mean, or whatever, that most steel has carbon in it? And most steel does, but when they say high carbon stainless steel, that means it has a higher content than maybe some other stainless steels. And just as a way to demonstrate that, this is a little flashlight with a magnet in the base of it, and it sticks. So you know that some really like surgical stainless steel, probably a magnet won't stick to it, depending upon the carbon level in it. But or the ferrous iron level, I guess is it. I don't know what it depends on. I just know that a lot of stainless steel won't work with a magnet. For example, a lot of stainless steel refrigerators, you can't stick all your magnets on them. So, but this works pretty well. So anyway, just thought I would just get that out of the way. I have to kind of learn that, and I thought you might be interested in it. So anyway, here is the SCHF60, and we're going to talk about some basic everyday tasks you might do with it, and then we'll talk about maybe some more emergency type tasks. So first of all, piece of cardboard. Now I got to say, this edge on this thing feels okay, but we'll just try a piece of cardboard and see how well it cuts. So it's honestly, it's not as sharp as some knives I have seen. So it cuts, but you ain't shaving with that. But I'm sure you could put a better edge on it if you need to. It just doesn't have as good an edge as some of the stuff I've seen from Schrade, to be honest with you. So what about cutting some cordage? So we got some braided bank line here. We'll give that a try. And it cuts it. Or some paracord, we'll try that. Just because, right? Cuts the paracord, so okay. So if you need to cut basic everyday stuff, you can. It's got a really nice point on it, really sharp point, by the way. So that should be fine. Well, let's try some, just for kicks, let's try some feathers, because you know me, I like to make some feathers, right? So let's just see if this thing will cut some feathers. And it seems to be doing okay on the feathers, to be honest with you. It's not great. Okay, so it's doing pretty good on the feathers. Okay, so that's a nice little pile. Not too bad, but you know where we're going next, right? I mean, if we're out and biking, for example, maybe biking on the old Silver Comet Trail late in the afternoon, and you crashed your bike off the trail and got stuck in the woods and nobody else is coming along, you might need to build yourself a fire to get warm and to keep warm. So you would probably need some way to do that. So hopefully you got a ferro rod with you. Hopefully you got a big lighter with you, to be honest, but we're doing a knife review, right? So I'm trying to see if this knife will strike a ferro rod, and it seems to be doing okay, to be honest with you. Better than some I've seen. So let's just see if we can get us a little fire going here without my favorite fat wood, because you might not have any on the old Silver Comet Trail. I don't know. Let's see. And looky there. Not too shabby, I gotta say. I'm pretty impressed by that, to be honest with you. Didn't take very long. Wasn't very hard. Okay, so at this point, since this is really not a bushcraft knife, and this is really kind of very tiny knife and very lightweight, we could conclude our testing at this point and say this is a pretty decent knife. But you know we're not going to do that, right? Okay, I got about 5 minutes on my SD card, so we're going to do this one quick. Okay, so this is the point in our testing when we go from just fooling around to getting extremely scientific. And one of the things I think is important about every fixed blade is that we make sure we test the balance. Fortunate enough here at Survival on Purpose to have a state-of-the-art, cutting-edge testing facility, probably maybe the absolute finest in the knife testing world. And one of the things that we really pride ourselves on is our balance testing facility. So we're going to take a look at that now and make sure this thing's balanced. Okay, we're going to call that one balanced. And we're going to wrap this thing up before I run out of storage on my memory card. So if you're looking for a really cool little knife that's very lightweight with a lot of functionality, under 20 bucks, whether you're a mountain biker or not, I think this could be a really cool little knife. Chuck Norris audits the IRS. This actually might be a good knife to go in a survival kit too, because it is very lightweight, a lot of different functionality, urban or wilderness survival. So anyway, once again, thanks to the folks at Schrade for sending me this so I can show it to you. And as always, thank you for watching Survival on Purpose. Thanks for subscribing, for clicking that thumbs up right there, for sharing this video with all your friends. Thank you so much for doing all your Amazon shopping through the Survival on Purpose links. It just takes you to regular Amazon, you pay regular prices, and it helps benefit the channel just a little bit financially, and I really appreciate your support. Once again, my name's Brian. You're watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival's not an accident, so be prepared. See you next time. Let me take you down the old stump top without a bunch of rambling.